What's going on, man?
What's up, dude? How are you?
Good, yourself?
Good, man. Can't complain.
You've been killing it with this paint, man.
Well, that's what they say. I don't know. I just make paint.
Man, those flakes are crazy. How long have you been at it now?
It's been since 2015 we've been doing it.
2015?
Yeah, when I started the business.
How did you get into doing flake? Or just paint in general?
I've been painting since I was 13. I started with model cars.
Model cars, eh?
Yeah.
Lowrider Bicycle Magazine, eh?
Lowrider back, yeah. I used to paint, buy, and go to the supermarket and buy Lowrider bicycle, Lowrider art when that was a thing.
Oh yeah, Lowrider art.
Yeah.
They killed that one even before the bikes.
Yep, way before the bikes.
Man. So what got you into doing flakes?
Bro, I was shooting metal flake since a long time. I was using House of Color. Obviously, that was that was the thing back then. And dude, I was just going to town with that, and then stopped doing that for a while. Took a break, got a regular job because I was painting cars, and then I saw a need for metal flake again in the business, and there was actually a big void in the market for metal flakes. There wasn't a lot of options. There wasn't a lot of support. There was people selling stuff that weren't painters. They didn't know what they were doing, so I started with an idea to supplement some insurance money for my son's healthcare, and it's kind of blown up to what it is now.
Man, global now, huh?
Yeah, global.
You shipping?
Sure. Yeah,
where are you shipping to now?
So we have we ship to Guam, we ship to France, we ship to a couple islands that belong to the French colonies.
Okay.
Dude, Japan, Korea, Mexico, like that's the obvious stuff. But the weirdest places have been islands in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Pacific Islanders are down with lowrider. There's some like, I was in LA and somebody brought their lowrider bicycle in a suitcase to a show, and I was like, ooh, killer bike too, like 100%, nothing like no China parts, all custom. It's like these guys take it serious, man.
Yeah, they do, bro. And we've been hitting, a lot of people have been hitting us up right now from Indonesia, just trying to figure out how to get our paint over there. Yeah. And bro, honestly, a lot of different places you can't even imagine, you can't even pronounce, because there's just little countries in the middle of Europe trying to hit us up.
Now let's talk about some of your big clients. Who are some big people might know?
So I've been really blessed to work with people like Alejandro Vega, that's Chino, he's with Uso, Bobby, the owner of Double Trouble. We've been lucky to work with them.
So Double Trouble's all Tropical Glitz?
The remake, because the original time it wasn't, and then they remade it a couple of times. I've been able to work with people like Liao Brother, the Diablos, Abeto, Senior and Junior. Now recently, Alberto Herrera, he's an airbrush artist. We've been working with him for years. And these are just guys I'm naming on the top of my head. Oh, Jonathan McCallo. He's out of San Diego. Let me see who else. These are guys I work with pretty close. And then we've been working recently now with Crazy Cutting, Amando. They just finished doing a beautiful, I think I want to say it's a 53 truck. I think 5-window with seductive blue. Okay. And Kima. I mean, it's a long list. There's a lot of stuff that I can't talk about car-wise, but we've been working with a couple of cool guys in the game. Yeah, I remember.
What Albus cars did they use some of your paint?
So they used our flakes. They used our metal flakes. What car was it? It's a 60 Impala convertible. I don't know the name of it. They used our flakes. I'm not sure if they used any of our candies. Okay. And that was the beginning. That was a couple of years ago. And then recently they did a 63 that for a club member, and they used our paint and used Miami Beach and all that, and they did some gorgeous, beautiful patterns that we've been reposting that on our social media on and off. And that's what they have. And then they have a couple other projects in the works that I can't really talk about, but they got some stuff. Who else? I'm trying to think of. Dude, I've done some stuff for Joe Ray, for his personal stuff. And then there's some other stuff that we've worked on for Riddler cars, but they haven't come out yet. So we're just kind of waiting to see what's up with that.
Okay, so that should be this weekend in Detroit even too.
So Autorama's this Saturday. Obviously we're not gonna go because we gotta go to California on the 17th. So I didn't want to go too crazy with traveling and stuff like that.
Big Iwata guy?
Yeah, I've been using Iwata. I use a little bit of everything, but I prefer Iwata because they just give you so many more options between airbrushing, and they really do cater to the custom market. To be honest with you, they're not production. You can use it for production, but man, they have so many options for whatever you're looking for.
Well, what about leafing, and you do all that stuff as well?
Yeah,
So striping?
Yeah. So I'm not a pinstriper, so I can pull you a straight line. That's about it. I painted this a couple years ago in my garage, and then that was the leaf was done by Jonathan, and then the pinstriping was done by Jonathan McCall. I did all the paint work on it, and the leafing, you know, leafing is as far as I would personally go. I prefer to just stick to paint, body work, welding, things like that.
What's one of your favorite colors that you've come up with?
Certified Gangster.
Certified Gangster?
Yeah, it's a pink that has a magenta undertone to it. And then another one that I really like a lot, dude. Here, I'll show you real quick. It sucks that the camera's not gonna catch it.
Yeah, the camera never catches the depth.
But it's this right here.
Oh yeah.
What's cool about it, it looks, at one angle it looks one way, and then you kind of look at it and it gets this really dark undertone purple to it. And then I have another color that's called, what up is it? Pink Fantasy. I think this one. So depending on the angle, you see how it gets really light. I just like a lot of different things that kind of like play with the shadows. So you look at it and it's just not just straight candy. It's like you look at it one angle and it looks one way, and then you turn around, you're like, damn, I see something different, and it just kind of plays with your eyes. It gives it a lot more depth than what's out there already. And then I do a lot of flip-flop stuff with pearls.
Oh yeah.
See, so depending on the angle, it might just look straight purple, and you come around and boom. It's all really, you know, it's really the imagination. I just make stuff that I like, and if I like it, then I put it on the shelf, and if someone buys it, they buy it. If they don't, they don't, you know? But, dude, yeah, have a seat, man. Make yourself comfortable. Well, yeah, that's how I started, just with model cars. And then I've always painted my whole life. Been doing it on the side of my house forever. That's why people are like, oh, booze, and I'm like, it's really overrated, bro.
Yeah.
I painted $200,000 statues for a customer, and it's in some lady's backyard as a piece of art, you know, and that was painted right in my backyard. Yeah. It's all about prep. Yeah. I mean, at least in my opinion. Everybody has different opinions. Some people argue and say, hey, that's not true, but really it's 90% prep, 10% execution. What's
one of your biggest or favorite projects that you've worked on that you, like, made you most proud to have your stuff on?
You know what? Yeah, I'll tell you. So a couple of years ago, I did, I want to say it was a frame for both side connection for a friend of mine called Ben. And it was a 63 Impala brown frame, and it debuted here in Miami. And a lot of people went crazy. I did all the body work. It was wrapped already, and then I came back and I did all the smoothing, all the body work, smooth painted it. It was leafed by a pinstriper called Clay. He's a local pinstriper, and he did pinstriping. The frame did so well that people couldn't believe it was painted, and they went crazy. Bobby, the owner of Double Trouble, ended up trading a Monte Carlo for it because they were crazy for it. And that's how I met Chino, Alejandro Vega. He came to the store and they thought I owned the frame. I go, oh, I didn't own the frame, I painted it. Yeah. And they're like, oh, it's amazing. And it wasn't even West End and Buff, bro. I painted that in my garage, and right when it was done, they picked it up on a flatbed and they assembled it.
Man, it's killing it.
And that was like a big thing because a lot of people, when I started the business, like, oh, he doesn't paint, he's too clean. And when people saw that I paint and I'm really good at it, everybody kind of changed. Like, damn, this guy really knows what's up.
So it's not like you're just a guy who picked up paint and wanted to make some money off of the community. Long time lowrider.
Not at all, dude. I got the history. I got pictures to back it up.
Yeah, long time lowrider. Yeah. Building model cars, building cars now.
Yeah. So, well, I wouldn't say building my car.
Yeah, building your car.
Yeah, because I painted a bunch of cars over it, but there's always that saying. There's a Spanish saying. Usually, the blacksmith that makes swords has a wooden sword at home. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever heard that in Spanish. And I'm not gonna try to say it in Spanish because I'll destroy it. My Spanish is funny. But I'm building my own car. You know, I've done a lot of stuff for other people, and for once I want to do something for myself.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, that's cool. And how long have you been at this location?
5 years.
5 years.
No, I'm lying to you. 4 years we've been in this location. Yeah.
And growth's been pretty good lately. COVID didn't slow you down at all, right?
Yeah, now booming. Opposite. We have a little small army of people that work here with us, and I'm blessed. God's been great for us. And we were planning to move. We're still planning to move into a way bigger facility. Oh, really? We have this store. And then we have 3 other warehouses just for overflow for merchandise and stuff. Oh, wow. But I'm trying to condense everything down, put a paint booth so we can start doing classes, because I do a lot of classes. Yeah. But I like to do the classes like in-house. You know what I'm saying? So if a student says, hey, I want purple candy, I can just come to my shelf, grab it, and we can use it for the class.
Nice. Well, that's nice. I mean, You still gonna keep this location?
I don't think so, because if I move into a 5,000 square foot building, it's gonna be 2 stories and all that, and then I'll return this location back to my buddy that he owns the buildings.
Okay.
And he'll use it for whatever he does.
Nice. So only growth, man.
Yeah, it's only been growth, bro. We've every year we've grown roughly 180 to 220%. And numbers don't lie, because the website tells us. You know, you look at the website, and as the website tells you, this is what we did last year, this is what we're doing this year. Yeah. And the orders, man, are just a huge support from a lot of people in the community. Yeah. And that's that. We're known by a lot of people, but there's still a lot of people who have no idea who we are and what we do. Yeah.
And I mean, it's crazy to think that you're this good and nobody even still.
It's fine, dude. I go by word of mouth. I try. You know, you're never really gonna see me on social media paying for ads, sponsoring ads.
Yeah. It speaks for itself.
Yeah, I'm an old school type of guy. Word of mouth, it pays itself volumes, because you can be that guy that's popular and known by thousands, and you can have 200,000 followers, bro, but in reality, I rather deal with the real people in the game. Yeah. And usually the real people in the game sometimes don't even have social media. Yeah. You know, and if they do, they're not about having all that. They're producing good quality work.
No, I think you are definitely exactly what you say, the good quality work. Yeah. I mean, the colors speak for itself. I watch every time there's an Instagram upload, man, I'm tagging my wife like, yo, we gotta paint the Impala, man. We gotta.
Oh, what year Impala you got?
64.
Oh, that's dope. Hard top?
Hard top. So.
Hey, bro, the way cars are going, you're sitting in a small fortune, man.
I don't know, man. I gotta paint that top. It's a white top right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's a small fortune, but it's gonna cost me a small fortune to get it how I want.
But it's worth it, though. Look, you know, I have a 68 Caprice. Okay. And I've always liked those tops because it's a sedan, so it's a different roof line, and they're not that popular, but I like that. I like to kind of be different than what's everything. Bro, as long as you love what you're doing, paint it, you know, and enjoy it for yourself, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that you have one, and the way the prices are going right now in 2022, you technically have a house on wheels, bro.
Yeah, I know. So try to hold on to it for a little bit. Yeah. See, probably long term, because everywhere I go, like I travel for work, so I picked up my aircraft hydraulic setup in Los Angeles, flew back with it. Okay. I was at Hoppo's last weekend, and I flew back with a bunch of stuff to put on the Impala. Oh, that's dope. And it's getting to the point where if I wanted to buy another car, it won't have the same value, because I physically went and picked up a lot of this stuff in person.
It's tough. It's tough. I have a 64 C10 that I've been building for like the past 8 years. Yeah. And I bought that in northern Florida. And it was a clean truck, dude, long bed, and I'm building it for my son Manny. And then I look back, I've done everything myself. I've done the airbag suspension, I've notched it, everything's Porter built though. And I look at the ticket of what I've spent, and it's like little, you know, $1,000 here, $2,000 here. I'm like, Jesus, I was better off just buying something done. Yeah. It's so much more to build them, but
you got all that quality, you know it's done right, and then you have the, hey, I remember doing this exact thing. Yep. And honestly, building a car, it's the experience of building it, because once you build it, it's fun to go to shows, but it's the journey to get there that sometimes means more. So
that's the thing where people kind of miss the boat, in my opinion. There's guys that do it because they like it, and there's guys that just want to jump in a car and roll. And that's my opinion here in South Florida. Yeah. Every culture is different, every market's different. But dude, to me, it's just it's not from getting from point A to point B. It's that in between of going to it. Like people are like, oh, Manny, you're doing great. The business is blowing up. And I'm like, yeah, it's great, dude, but I like the hustle. Yeah. I like the in-between, like trying to figure out something, make a custom color for somebody and move on, and then reinvest back into the business and grow more and then keep back, because it's just how I am. I grew up in Miami. I grew up a pretty simple lifestyle with my family, and they migrated from Cuba to avoid the issues that Cuba was having with dictatorship. So for me, dude, I grew up a pretty simple lifestyle.
I mean, it's nice, man, representando por la Caribe, you know?
Exactly, dude. So. La gente no sabe que you know, I'm a first generation American. Yeah. So the struggle is real, but I'm blessed because it keeps me grounded, you know what I'm saying?
No, definitely. I mean, to know where you've come from and to see what you've built, I mean, it's really an astonishment. So.
And it's funny, this was never supposed to be a full-time job. Yeah. This was, we have it on the website. We started this to cover my son's medical expenses, 100% his medical expenses, just to kind of supplement, because the insurance wasn't covering physical therapy. And I started this, and it just kind of snowballed little by little. 1 month it was X amount of dollars people were buying, then another, and then 1 year to 2 years. And then for the fact that we're in the building like this, we're doing what we do, you know, we're able to employ 7 people are employed with us, and that's not counting myself.
Yeah.
And we're doing what we're doing is incredible, and it's only been 5 years. And the fact that I started 5 years ago in my office, in my laundry room, that I had a little computer desk with a shelf on top with maybe 20 colors, 10 jars each max.
Yeah.
And now we have over 130 colored metal flakes. I never wanted to get into paint. I didn't want to get into the licensing and insurance. And look, I do paint.
Yeah.
Because that was a big issue with a lot of customers that were buying metal flake, having issues like, hey, I'm using this from this company or this paint store, and they didn't know how to help me. And then I said, crap, now I have to kind of like develop something so they can technically use the flakes and have a good experience. And then that kind of snowballed, hey, can you do a color? Hey, I did this color. Hey, can you do this? And then it just, now I'm here, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know too much, but is there any other lowriders that are doing paint specifically, or is it more like custom culture?
What do you mean? Like what's
like you come from the lowrider world, so like
I get what you're saying. Compared to hot rods and
compared to like customs. I don't know if there's anybody else doing it. Is there anybody else?
I don't think so.
Because I mean, obviously,
but I do enjoy both though, because like now we're gonna go to California. I'm gonna go to a hot rod shop, and I do admire customs because the colors. I like colors in general, dude. Yeah. They're not scared to really think outside the line when it comes to colors. And then one of my biggest things that I personally love is the dragsters from the 70s. Because you see these beautiful fades from yellow to orange to green, and they use pearls and all that. And bro, you don't really see that in all the lowriders. You see that in certain paint jobs, like Candy Factory, Mario's old paint jobs, obviously Danny D's paint jobs, and all these guys were connected to each other. And then you have the guys like Bill Carter. He passed away, but he was a guy out there in California doing hot rods. Yeah. Another guy that's currently alive is still there, Jim McShay. He's out here now in Florida. He paints the grave digger. He has that. He's an older gentleman, but he does those lifestyle, that colorful lifestyle, not lifestyle the Lowrider Club. I'm like colorful lifestyle. Like it's his styles of hot rod stuff. You know what I'm saying? And when you see some of these funny cars from the 70s, dude. Tukey and his dad, I think they're out of the Tennessee area, like those really crazy paint jobs. And those are the paint jobs that really inspired lowriding, if I'm not correct. Yeah, you're right. Like, because custom culture was really what inspired lowriding, and it was like the boat tail racers and all those things that later on developed into what we know as today as patterns, but it originated with that culture. So Ron Fleener, he used to work for House of Color. Now he has, I think it's called Flea's Candy Factory. His artwork and his color combos are fire. Yeah. Damn, there's another guy I'm thinking of. Okay, his name, he's on my phone. I believe his name is Paul. Yeah, Paul. I think they have him as Paul PPG. I forgot Paul's last name. Paul, his color combos and custom paint is phenomenal. And it's the same thing when you look at some of their stuff, you see these guys were the older generation that taught a lot of the lowrider guys, and then it kind of trickled down into what it is now. Yeah, because I know a big thing out west was like the Bellflower like area, and that was really when it kind of treaded the line between lowriders and hot rods, and then from there kind of just went its own separate way. So but it's just, dude, it's just been awesome, to be honest with you. It's been a blessing to be straight up. Oh, that's awesome, man. So it's good to see. I mean, the space and I mean all the stuff. Now, do you sell guns as well? And yeah. These are all. Now, I saw the other day on Instagram like you have a special gun just to spray flake, right? Yeah, the dry flake gun. Oh, it's right here. It took us a couple of years to make it. And that's something you developed yourself, right? Yeah, bro. And that's for like heavy flake, right? That's, I'll show you. I saw some of the flake in the parking lot, and I saw how you looked in that video. Oh yeah. So I kind of overdid it because I had full coverage on one coat. Yeah, it's for the big stuff. It's for the guys that want to shoot, you know, stop sign flake. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Give you an idea, look at it right there. That's 0.90 and 0.60. It's really, really, really big. And I even said in the video on YouTube, hey, this is not for everybody. These are the guys that want to do resin flake. Like, this is a resin flake paint job. This was done by Stripes by Mike. He's out of Kansas, and that's all 0.90. Jonathan McDowell does resin flake. Pete, I believe it's Crazy Customs on Instagram. He does resin flake. Sal Manzano does resin flake. So these are guys that are into it. And yeah, bro. So this is something I designed and modified, bro. It took a while.
So now you got product development. You have your own. I mean, obviously you have product development with your paints, but now you're actually moving into.
Well, yeah, we did. So we did a flake gun because this is a dry flake gun. So we did another flake gun. That's a 2.0 and a 2.5. It's a little different because I had these manufactured for me, and it's a 2.5 tip or a 2.0. But the biggest difference is when you shoot the flake, it's not heavy in the center. That's the problem. You can get a primer gun and shoot, and you always get a heavy center, and then it tails at the end. No, this gives you a complete wet, even fan, so you're not gonna get zebra striping. That's a big thing when you're shooting paint, and you get like, you're doing this coat, and you got a heavy layer in the center, and then you come back, you got another heavy layer, but then in the middle, you have like light, and then it looks terrible. So this one gives you a nice, perfect 6-inch fan.
Okay.
And it's a modified gun that we had that designed so you get a nice wet fan. And so I call it a flake gun. You can use it for primer, but it's really designed to shoot metal flake. And then this one shoots up to 0.25. You can do 40, but not too heavy. And then that's something I worked on, but then my biggest goal was to do sorry about that. My biggest goal was the dry flake one, because here, see, these are all panels, and they have different sizes. Here's the big stuff stacked up. And there's no clear on this. This is just straight inner coat. So this goes all the way up to 90. But yeah, it's cool, and it's just something different, dude. I mean, I feel like there's been a void in the market for such a long time. No one really cares. There's been the same thing forever. This is the only gun in the market that you actually have a full pound, and it's gravity fed. Right now there's another gun that's called the Flake King I've used before, and it's like a little jar like this, like this big, and you constantly be shaking and stuff. This you can just drop it in and go to town. Yeah, I mean, we've been doing this forever, so I really appreciate the interview. And the biggest thing is you can check us out on Instagram at Tropical Glitz, Facebook Tropical Glitz, YouTube Tropical Glitz, and our website is www.tropicalglitz.net. And everything we have, we're always updating our website.